This is HRTV Rewind, taking a look back at the racing week.
Dive right in with the claiming crown, and one of the things that I think we all want to know is how much work and effort does it get to get all these horses here? I mean, 8 races, 90 horses entered. Do you follow these horses all year long and call up trainers and say, hey, you know, how about coming to Gulfstream? The weather's nice in December. How do you do it?
We start very early on, as early as August. And we, from August till now, is just following these horses and talking to trainers from here all the way to Emerald Downs and in between. We really work hard on this event, and we're looking forward to a big day tomorrow.
Kevin, let me ask you, it's sort of the chicken or the egg question for you. Do you write the conditions and then scout the horses, or do you scout the horses and then create the conditions for these claiming crown races?
No, the conditions are the same, and actually we had 7 races last year. We did add 1 race this year, the Iron Lady, so it's usually the same races. So we have these same categories, and we look for horses that fit for these categories.
Is there some sort of challenge that you can get the horse that comes from furthest to travel for this day of racing?
Yeah. Well, like I said, we've contacted the trainers at Emerald Downs and everywhere in between. So we try to reach out to everywhere and everybody, so that way, you know, all the tracks have these type of races in these horses. So we are constantly checking with everybody on these.
Big purses up for grabs, including the $200,000 jewel. And with trainers coming from all over the country, is there ever a hesitation from trainers not to ship because of the expense, or do they just say, hey, you know, it's $200,000, it's $110, we're coming?
Well, it depends. They want to know who they're running against and all that. So there is some hesitation, but for horses like these to run for this money, it's hard to sort of turn down.
Let's start with Bernie the Maestro, who figures to be a major factor in the Jewel. We saw him in the Schaefer on and off track. What are you making of his chances? What do you expect from Bernie the Maestro in the Jewel tomorrow in this claiming crown?
Well, Bernie the Maestro is stretching out a little bit. Let's see. What's race he in?
The Jewel. Okay. It's good to be Ken Ramsey when you have that many horses going in stakes races. You don't know which one is which.
10th race.
He's in the 10th race, the big $200,000 one, and we put him in there primarily because of the purse. It's a little more than he's been running at before. It's a mile and 1/8. He's been knocking him dead at a mile and 1/16, but he's in top form. Mike loves him tomorrow. Matter of fact, I hope the handicapper down here is as good as everybody says he is, because on the program picks we have 7 horses run tomorrow. The first 2 are not in the claiming crown, races 1 and 2. And we're picked program pick on 5 of them and picks a second the other 2. If we can finish that good, I'm going to jump up and down and and do a little shouting.
So that's Bernie the Maestro, who you'll have in the Jewel, the big one, as you mentioned, $200,000 on the line there. In the 9th race, the Emerald, $125,000 race. You have Major Marvel also from Mike Makersbarn. What more can you ask for from this 7-year-old gelding? He's 7 for 8 this year. Has to be one of the more consistent horses that you have.
Somebody told me that if he won tomorrow, he would probably end up being the claimer of the year nationwide. In other words, no other horse has won as many races as he's won. So a great claim for $10,000. Unfortunate last year we could have won 5 instead of winning 4. Major Marvel ended up running second in his race, but I think he's got a better chance of winning tomorrow than Bernie has as far as the gambling aspect of it.
So we're kind of making our way backwards, Ken. In race number 8, you have the Iron Horse, aptly named considering who you're starting here in Brother Bird, who has been just that with the 9 victories in 28 lifetime starts. How are you feeling about Brother Bird going in?
Well, Brother Bird is a half-brother to the Kentucky Derby winner, Mind That Bird, and he's got Javier Castellano riding tomorrow, who I think will probably be the win the Eclipse Award for outstanding jockey. He's done enough to deserve it. So He'll be replacing Rosie Napravnik, who's over to Fairgrounds. But Brother Bird, he's fresh. He's only had the one race. This is what you call the third race in his form cycle. He had one race in September, one in October. So I think he's pretty good for the starter 7,500.
We'll start at the top and work our way down. We'll start with the Claiming Crown Jewel, a race worth $200,000. And we have a horse in here, many from the Mike Maker stable and the Ken and Sarah Ramsey barn, and that is Bernie the Maestro. He won a race there last year. He won the Rapid Transit at Gulfstream on the 1st. How did you see this race playing out? Do we just bet Bernie the Maestro blindly?
You know, I think Bernie the Maestro is probably going to be favored, and deservedly so. And as you mentioned, did win a race last year, and that was the Rapid Transit. I think that he definitely has the speed in here. There's another horse in here, Nevada Kid, from the Nick Zito barn. He's got a little bit of speed, but I don't think that he has really the speed that Bernie the Maestro does. So I think that will give Bernie probably the advantage in here. We also have to mention Voodoo Storm. He's from the Tim Gleishop barn, and he comes off of a really big win at Mountaineer last time at a stake there, the Mountaineer Mile, and that was in the mud. So he's never won here at the track or at Gulfstream Park, but I think he's really nice. He was also nominated in the Emerald, which was on the turf. They decided to keep him on the dirt in here, but I think he basically has shown that he has the quality to compete in here. So if there's a little bit of a pace setup, if we get a bit of pace up front, with, maybe to wear out Bernie the Maestro a little bit, I think Voodoo Storm, he's definitely the good.
And he showed that his triple brisnet speed figure was legitimate in the allowance race at Mountaineer when he came back and won on an off-track in the Mountaineer Mile with a 110 brisnet speed figure. That's huge. Let's move on to the Emerald, and Major Marvel, who missed out by a head in last year's Emerald, is back in again and has now earned over $620,000. He must be one of the major headliner horses on the card on Saturday.
Yeah, he definitely is. It was a heartbreaker last year. He was just beaten out by a head. But the horse that beat him, Mickey Sandcastle, is a very, very nice horse. He loves Gulfstream Park as well. So there was no disgrace in defeat there. He also, and if you look at Major Marvel, the only other time that he finished off the board after that was at Gulfstream. That was February 1st. He was 4th that day. Not only was he beaten by a couple of nice stakes horses in Beau Choix and Decisive Moment, but the early splits, they were pretty fast, and he was pretty close up to a fast pace. So I think, that might have taken out the sting a little bit out of him, just a hair. But he's won 6 in a row. How can you fault him for that? He did win the Unbridled at Louisiana Downs, and that was back in September. He likes the track, he likes the turf, and, he definitely would be one to consider in there. But, there are a couple of horses you might want to also throw in there. Rip Hands from the Graham Motion barn. He's got Edgar Prado aboard, and Edgar's been doing really, really great here at Gulfstream. And the gelding is by Giants Causeway. He's been running on synthetic primarily, but Graham feels that he should be able to carry that onto the turf. And, the horse is an aggressive type horse, shows some speed, and he figures that he'll be right there as well.
And the leader is Centrique. Lexington Pearl, the stablemate, second. As One Fast Frog retreats on the inside and Ainsley is about to take third, Centrique and Lexington Pearl will decide the glass slipper, and Centrique's got the lead. Centrique and Javier Castellano take the glass slipper over stablemate Lexington Pearl. Rebo Bobo is running up the score. Rebo Bobo, the winning machine, takes the Express in hand. Good Time Had by All has taken the lead and is pulling away from Ghost is Clear. And Good Time Had by All and Kendrick Carmouche roll home in the Rapid Transit. Dina Allen's Kitten charging on the outside of them, and here she comes. Here's Dina Allen's Kitten mowing them down, and Rock On Baby runs after her late. Dina Allen's Kitten has won the tiara from Rock On Baby. Come into the final 16th, and Point Finish is full of run. Point Finish and Paco Lopez pulling away to beat Francois. North Star Boy. Best actor to the outside. Late speed from Political Courage, but Major Marvel has done it. And they're into the stretch, and Nevada Kid's still going strong. Nevada Kid's got a furlong to go. Dominant Jeans, Bernie the Maestro. On the far outside, Flatter This trying to close the gap late. Nevada Kid holding on to the lead. Flatter This closing on the outside. Dominant Jeans on the rail. Nevada Kid wires them in the Claiming Crown Jewel.
Well, he's won some Florida Derbies, he's won some Kentucky Derbies, but this was a first for Nick Zito. First Claiming Crown victory. How's it feel?
It feels great. It feels great. And actually, we needed to win this Claiming Crown, which was great. And claiming races, Derbies, Florida Derbies, you know, you win a race, there's nothing like it. And this was terrific. I mean, what could I tell you? I was really happy. And I've always been, you know, kind of lucky at Gulfstream, I guess, or did pretty well here over the years. So this worked out perfect. I'm really happy for Richard. And actually Alex, my son, too. So they're partners, and this was great.